how that commercial was like, the sports voice of Las Vegas, KSHP, 1400 AM, and now theater.
Yes.
And now back to theater. So anyways, we saw Mary Poppins yesterday, and it was interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah, I guess there's I guess there's these things called books.
Really?
And there's a whole series of Mary Poppins books. And I guess it's more based on that. I love the movie, and I really, really, who doesn't love Mary Poppins? I mean, you have to be like a communist to not like Mary Poppins. And so I went in there with like these grandiose expectations of a Disney theatrical spectacular, and I thought I was going to, get hit in the face with a flying bird like in Lion King or something. And instead, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It was like, I used the analogy of like a turkey dinner for Thanksgiving.
Well, unlike The Lion King or Little Mermaid or Aladdin, which I guess is going to be at Tuacahn, Mary Poppins is not produced as a Disney theatrical production.
Whoa.
Because it's Disney's The Lion King on Broadway. It's Disney's The Little Mermaid on Broadway. This is not Disney's Mary Poppins on Broadway.
Oh, wow, I never...
That's at least, if you're listening out there and I'm incorrect, please correct me, because I love to be wrong.
Well, anyways, I want to go back to my analogy.
Oh, sorry.
It was like a turkey. It's like
communism turkeys.
Yes, communism
I've seen it many times before. It's like a turkey dinner, stuffed with stuffing and whatever you put in a turkey. And then this one had like all this other stuff.
So it was more like turducken.
It was like a turducken. It was the turducken of theatrical shows that I don't know.
And this is at the Smith Center, obviously.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I would never, ever tell somebody not to go see a show at the Smith Center, but I don't know. I walked out of there going, The Color Purple was great. And it was like...
Well, you went in there with that expectation of the Disney production. And so if you hadn't had that expectation, do you think you might have left feeling differently?
I don't know. I liked it, and there were moments that I thought were great. I think the story was so... when you bring something to the stage and you can transform it from a movie, there's that curse before you even begin that you have to overwhelm the expectation again. Yeah,
that's something that I hate about theater just in general is the preconceived notions that you may have, which is why I'll read reviews because I'm a glutton either for punishment or praise, but that never dissuades me from going to see a show. I'll give a shout out to my friend John Tomasello and my friend Cirque Michaels for a production that was done at Studio 7 last month. It was called Bad Head, and it was what it was. It was a mashup of old horror B movies, the head that wouldn't die and the brain that they stole from Hitler or whatever. It was what it was. But I took my daughter and they incorporated an aspect that we did for. I did a production of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians in December, and the audience got to throw things at the players, and that was so much fun for my daughter and I to just sit there and they called them Fomatos. And it didn't get the greatest reviews, but I had such the funnest time.
Is that a Disney production?
Yes. It was actually Walt Disney's brain that was brought back out on stage and put into Hitler's body. It was unique. It was a very family friendly production.
But yeah, I mean, it's like exceeding your expectations. You need to go into a show and you need to kind of like give it the benefit of doubt being something completely.
Absolutely.
It lives and stands and breathes on its own, and that's the problem. I have a hard time watching I direct for high school theater, for crying out loud. I have a hard time sitting in the audience and watching it and not totally analyzing every technical element of the show. I have to really turn that off in order to kind of relax a little bit, which is another reason why I think that everybody should be heading over to the Plaza Hotel and Casino, is because they are... Do you like that? Thank you. That was a beautiful transition. Disney presents. But
that's my kind of Disney.
Yeah, we're welcoming to the studio Kelly Wright and Ron Smith from the Plaza Hotel and Casino's production of The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. This is a show I'm very, very, very not familiar with.
It's not about horses.
It's not about horses. No, not Horsehouse. Whorehouse. And what's funny is that this is a show that's been around for a long time, and it has like this kind of cult following. It's got like this weird reputation that's beloved, and from what I, in my in-depth research, but the
but the internet.
Yeah, my Wikipedia says it's a cult favorite. So it must be true then. But the thing is, it's like. At first glance of the title, you're going to raise a few eyebrows, no doubt. But, welcome, first of all. I appreciate you guys coming in here very much. But I want to kind of draw some attention to the show because, just through the grapevine, through mutual friends and the like, I've heard it's been going fantastic, and it's wonderful. Tell us about the show. So people who don't know this musical.
Do you know the story at all?
I know a little bit. It says here.
You did your research.
Well, I only know
actually
the
don't.
movie.
I actually don't know.
I only know the movie, and it's been years since I've seen the movie. But I have a few friends that are in the cast, so I've been able to piece things together. But it's not the movie.
No.
Definitely not.
No.
Okay.
But they added with the movie.
Sure.
Obviously, Dolly Parton, they made the relationship between her and the sheriff a lot more intense than it was in the original.
So you play Dolly's character?
I do.
Excellent.
And I'm Burt Reynolds.
Nice.
Which would explain the 10-gallon black cowboy hat he's wearing and the gum that he's chewing. And I love the mustache.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's excellent. No, but what is the show about? Like, tell us a little bit of the storyline so that we can
Basically, it's based on the story of the chicken ranch that was, when was it first? In the 50s?
It actually started back in 1905. I know all the historical.
He knows all the history. 1905. What do I know?
Exactly. 1905 is kind of when its predecessor started. Brothel outside of LaGrange, Texas, along the lower Colorado River. And they moved to the house that became the Chicken Ranch in around 1970. They got the name of the Chicken Ranch because during the Depression, there was no money.
Right.
Even though the guys still wanted to come out to the Chicken Ranch, there was no money. So
for the horses?
Exactly.
Wait, I'm just curious if that is still a bartering opportunity today.
Well, it was like three chickens for a...
Honey pumpkin.
Yeah, there you go.
A few pecking.
Exactly.
Pecking and hugging.
So they started taking the chickens in trade, and that's how it got the name of the Chicken Ranch.
Nice.
Wow. And so it goes on through
It was run then by Miss Willa Jean, well, actually
Jesse
different
Williams.
name. Jesse. This is the character's names in the show. And then when she passed away, she bequeathed it to Mona, Miss Mona, who took the Chicken Ranch over.
Nice.
And made it more of what we know of it.
Yeah. And then that's where the story.
Right.
So it's a historical recounting, is it?
It is. It's recounting
graphical.
about the last 2.5 weeks of the Chicken Ranch.
Oh, wow.
It was closed down in 1973. During that time, there was a somewhat local reporter who went on a crusade against prostitution and the brothel and everything, Marvin Zindler, and in the play it's Melvin P. Thorpe. And so he brought all the publicity and everything down upon the Chicken Ranch and got it closed down.
Wow.
So that's our the show actually takes place in the last 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
2.5 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a comedy, and it's
And there's music and
there's
singing.
music and dancing.
There's nothing dirty going on.
Nothing dirty
Not
going on.
at all.
Well, I heard there are some costumes that may reveal a bit more than you might be expecting from our male singers. Isn't there?
Although the male
there's
singers,
somebody wearing chaps with no backs.
that's Roland, our narrator.
That's our narrator.
Our narrator.
And
Okay.
Ryan. There's two.
Oh, the narrator, of course.
Narrator.
Of course, the
who,
narrator is wearing
really
I mean,
Yeah.
well, that makes sense then.
It all started because Roland has a awesome body. So he enjoys showing it off. So they put him in. They have a guitar. He comes out at one point with just
the
underwear.
guitar.
Yeah, underwear. And then he comes out at the end, right, with the black chaps
Right.
on. Yeah, and nothing
Yeah.
else.
So, I mean, you had to have some. Obviously, we have the girls are scantily clad in the whorehouse. So we definitely had to have something for the women in the audience, not just the men in the audience.
Well, sure.
Let me emphasize to our listeners, this is not family friendly.
No, don't bring the kids.
No. Family friendly.
This is definitely I think it probably fits right in the venue right there. I mean, this is
It's a great room for it. It's
Yeah.
a perfect room for it.
You're in the main
velvet
theater.
and, you know.
We're in the showroom at the Plaza, and we've tweaked a couple of lines just to make people bring the Plaza into it a little bit
A little
more.
bit, and it has been shortened a little bit from the original show.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Does it run without an intermission? Or?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
It's a
Okay, great.
casino
An hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Great. So if you're just visiting, if you're just listening to this right now and you're visiting, go head out over there. It's a great show to see. If you
7
are,
days a week,
yeah.
7 p.m.
Oh, really?
So you guys are late. Or did you have a show earlier today?
No. There's two Monas.
I know there
two
is. I'm
sheriffs. Very funny.
The sarcasm I would think would play better on radio, but Kelly, you don't know me well enough.
Oh, no, we are late. Sorry, bye.
We're planning on doing the show right here.
The Plaza's been recently renovated as well, so it's a beautiful space.
Sarcasm, I can't tell.
No, there we go.
Like I said, you don't know me well enough yet.
When we're doing we do the air quotes.
There should be a blue flashing light when sarcasm is going over me.
Can we have one of the interns be here?
Yeah, they'll hold up a sign that says sarcasm.
Yeah.
That's good.
Or Glenn's being sarcastic.
Just
a picture of Glenn.
From now for the rest of the show, presume I'm being sarcastic, and when I get that questionable look on your face, no, I'm being totally sincere.
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, the hotel looks great. It's been,
Yeah, they've definitely done a lot of remodeling at the hotel and the casino area, up in the rooms especially. So it's very nice. The showroom is a separate entity, but they are doing some remodeling in there and taking care of lights and sounds. We're possibly, they had mentioned at one time, possibly actually extending the stage
a bit
more, which will be good for us. Then we can...
Because it's a fairly small stage, so the cast is a lot smaller than it was with the original.
And there's a lot of shows on the Las Vegas Strip that people can still see, and there's going to be a lot of transition in the next year of shows on this Las Vegas. What's different about this show that would... that you would want people to come and take a chance and buy a ticket and come out and see this show? What's different about this show than others?
It's not Cirque.
There you go.
And there you go.
Not
Okay.
a big Vegas, not a big Vegas splash. Somebody actually wrote in after seeing the show, and they said they really enjoyed it because it was more of a cabaret almost type feel, even though it was a musical theater, but just because of the smaller
Anita
stage.
Bean, who's in it, she says you get that real intimate feeling.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The setting it's a beautiful setting, but it lends itself to be more intimate than.
Well, and because of the size of the theater itself and the stage, we are right there with the audience.
You have cabaret style seating though, correct?
We have
Some cabaret
tables
style,
as well as
In the
booths
front,
there.
yeah.
Okay.
And but there are, because the intimacy, the fourth wall does get broken multiple times throughout the show. You can't help
people
it.
enter from from the front of the house.
Oh, nice.
So the stairs to the house, to my house, goes down into the audience. So people are coming up.
All of my entrances and exits through the house.
And when they raid the house, there's like different things that come on there in the audience.
That's great.
So it's fun.
You've been up there for a couple of months now?
Going on 2 months.
2 months,
Yeah.
all right,
Great.
fantastic.
Things going good up there?
They are.
It's
they
fun,
are.
and we're improving and costume changes and all kinds.
Well,
of
anytime you
different
bring a
things
show to a hotel casino, there's going to be a transitional period of adapting and everything. But let me give you listeners a way to go on. Let's see here. It just says go to the Plaza Hotel and Casino box office. The tickets start at $59.95.
But they are out there for 2 for 1, I think. If you
If you're a local.
We're in 24/7. I think we have an ad in 24/7 right now, and there's a special promo code
Excellent.
at the bottom of that for 2 for 1s, and we have locals deals, all sorts of.
Locals know where to find that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And you can also get tickets if you want to by phoning in at 946-8934 or 1-800-793-9332. Again, 1-800-793-9332. And that's Best Little Whorehouse in Texas over at the Plaza Hotel and Casino. Let's take a really quick break, and then what we'll do is we'll come back, we'll get to know these two a little bit better, and we'll maybe head out to Texas. I don't know.
I got my chickens ready.